took my love and gave it back. It's yours to leave, but it won't keep me from this hard time. And I'll try to carry on again, but I never really knew that it was over.
All right. Well, we're not going to play you again now, are we? And that was our introduction there, folks. This is the actual show. Yes. Oh, this needs adjusted. There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. It needs adjusted. There we go. All right. This is belly cam. This is my shirt, by the way, the official shirt of Freeqo's iChap. This shirt was designed by Buddy Agora. Dang it. What is the name of his shop? Maybe it's just called the Agora Threadless Shop. Look for that on Threadless, and you'll find this shirt. And, yeah, I just, you see there a little. So there's a little. It says, good meme, sweet dreams. Little. Oh, come on. Little lamb. And then there's a little lamb there. Then there's a little lamb. See the lamb? So tandy, so tandy. I don't know why I love this shirt. I just really do. Love the design. I'm not a communist. And if you're a communist, I don't got anything against you, unless you're an authoritarian communist. But I'm not a commie, and this isn't part of I'm not a hidden commie. I'm not a hidden commie. But I do like that this image, this terrible, horrible image, is basically turned into frickin' meme kitsch. It's just meme kitsch now. I love that. If we could take all the most violent images and thoughts that we have and turn it into meme kitsch, take power over it. So that's why I love this shirt. Good meme, sweet dream, little lamb, or little lamb. You can read it however you want. I mean, this is the verbo-visual poem. It's beautiful. It's a freaking masterpiece, if you ask me. All right. Well, I don't want music on this. Why do I have music here? I don't want music here for this part. So that's the video that we use in our opening, and that is The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, 1920 restored. And this is our YouTube channel. Should go here. Do our YouTube channel. You see the YouTube channel here? Yeah. Akchun Batsa! See, that's us. We're live right now. Right now, we are live. Even as we speak, we are live! While I'm shooting this, if you see this replay, I'm watching myself watch myself, which is pretty cool. I kind of like it. So, be sure you subscribe there, because that's where it's at. And it's from this website, Freeqo.com. Not freaking about the news for you, the people. And we're doing Freeqo's iChap. Oh, I just entered this just before the show, so I must have double tapped the R. I'll have to fix that later. I'll leave that be for now. Freeqo's iChap, and an iChap is it's a small digital chapbook. In this case, it's a chapbook of 5 poems, and I do these every week. And these are the 5 poems that I shared in the beginning of the week. These are the news poems for every day, Monday through Friday. And I do a little bit, have a little fun with them. So that's what we're about ready to do. And we're going to get to the first poem here. And what I do is I record these poems, and then I'll post these poems up individually on the Action Batsa website, or on the Action Batsa YouTube channel. And I do also mirror these on the iState YouTube channel. I'm using the word mirroring because you'll say spam, but I'm not spamming. I just want to make sure that I also preserve it on that iState YouTube channel. I'll use that one occasionally. That actually has a lot more, well, relatively speaking, I have 400 and some subscribers on that one, but it's not my flagship. Action Batsa is my YouTube flagship. So be sure you go there, and let's get ready for the first poem. Let's get the first poem lined up here. There we go. I wonder if I should do it that way or this way. Yeah, maybe I'll do it this way. So there's the news poem, and we're not going to read the poem part. We are only going to get to, the news poem. We're only going to do the poem. So without further ado, let's get ready to record the first segment here of the Monday news poem. In the lava deep there stirs. In the lava deep there stirs a single spect universality in scale to micro, technical, protraction of the data, a single cell merged into the flow below the cool, the flame, the unforgiving exchange of the instance of entropic force on all known biologies. Yet life. And in the lava deep, in the deep there stirs, the lone dot is nestled in the clay, but not. A gut of cells confers and forms the collective all. Miasma in the lava, miasma in the stall. The universal fractals dissect the particular elements of lava so that they are separated from the intent and become musical forms, or would if the world paused in all of such news. But fear not. The element of the wonder is lost in the flames above the lava. The voice drowns out its own panic. Voice in Coronaville above the flow, above the panic, the lava, more miasma in the flow. I hold no promise to the answer, but the flames burn away more than the brush they are intended to sweep away. The flow, the lava, the overtaking of the inertia to a sudden crawl, yet a cluster of collective awe in the crucible persists. We know, even amidst fierce flames, the single-celled rebel lives among the rebel kind in the crucible, thriving. All right, make sure I turn off the lights before I leave. And I don't do during the week whenever I do it. Now, this is funny. I did want this for the first one. I didn't want it for all of them, though. So, oh, no. Okay. You know what? I'm going to have to fix this the old-fashioned way. The old-fashioned way, we're going to have to go and we're going to have to configure the whole freaking video. The whole video will be configured. Ah, yes. This will always be my bane of existence. Getting the camera angles to stay, or figuring out how to get a setup so that they stay. Now, why are you... Oh, I know what happened. Oh, no. Dang it. It wasn't the settings at all. Dang it. It just fell. That happens, but now I don't want you like that. I want to tilt down more because I want to see the shirt, because the shirt is really more important than my face, honestly. Seriously, I'm not going to lie to you. All right, there we go. And I'll have to slide you up. And we'll put you right there, and then we'll blow you out on up here, and we'll get you a little bit more, and you get a little bit more out there. There we go. There we go. There we go. See, my face isn't so important to this plot of this movie. It's really much more important that the shirt get features. As a matter of fact, I might even want to try and tilt this down a little bit more. Yeah, a little bit. That's actually more up than it was. So. Hold on, folks. This is getting done. You're seeing this. We do it live. We do it live. Oh, I don't have my little scrunchy thing in today. Oh, I better put my scrunchy thing in. Listen, for those of you who have beardy affixments like me, I want you to watch this. I'll move the microphone here for a second so you can see how my beardy beards is. I got thin hair, so I'll never have a full beard. This is the best I can do. So basically, when you have hair like that, you kind of walk around like that. It looks a little shaggy DA. I don't mind the shaggy DAs myself, though, but I'm gonna show you what you need to do. You get these little scrunchy thingies. These are awesome, and I really like the pinks. I do, and yeah, it's a great color. And then you just get it on here, and you just kind of walk it down like that. Just keep going down like that. There you go. There you go. Yeah, nice and contained. Yep. Good for when you're eating, too. And there you go. Looks much better. Well, relatively speaking, I don't really care about fashion. Trust me, this is not a fashion statement. This beard is on for other reasons. Has nothing to do with fashion. So, let's get to the Tuesday poem. See, this is why, folks, you don't just look at the poems when I post them up as the excerpts alone. You miss this part right here. This is the heart and soul. This all of it, all of the way. This is the show. This is what it's about. It's about good meme. Let's get to the Tuesday poem, because it's time to get to the Tuesday poem. And I believe that would be... Make sure I have that right. Let's just see here. Yep, that lines up. Everything lines up, so we can line this up and get ready. Yeah, we'll leave it right there. And are you ready, folks? We're about ready to start the recording for the Tuesday poem. They died alone. Invasion of the Masks, a Coronaville love story. Colored, circa 2020. I ask you, the air, the stench of the assumed phlegm hiding in the fissures, in the matrix of the pallor of the overcast pre-thunderstorm scene. I stood there with my basket, filled with a quart of milk and 10 cans of noodle soup. I watched the shrieks of, "Mask! Mask! You're not wearing a mask!" And I relived my favorite cinematic scene in all of human history. I stood there like a freaking ape of a man, opening my maw like a black hole consuming its own fear. I stood there like a freaking ape. I dragged my knuckles across the floor, but washed my hands as soon as I got home. Virus be gone! Gone! I rattled in my bones and encumbered a queer notion. I felt the tremor of and like that. Last week, stood there in my naked, right after the shower, steamed, redded up. I told myself I was thinner. I was strong. I was gonna be fine. I died alone. The rumor in is the metaphor, is the claim to truth the experts use to diagram the motion of the air. But all they have are machines. They become the cost of living after all, no? Somehow the indifference to the machinations of children on the thrones of gold dust is no longer an option when bread is lined up for the empty space and people are lined up for the bread lost in space. The perfection, the cost of dying alone. We are dying alone, no? I stood there in awe of my own mouth, though I did not possess it. I calmed myself, settled, retreated into the innocuous air before the virus, before the scene shifted to remote shots of unblemished and uninteresting jewels that once shone before. I shut my mouth when I slammed the door on that thought. No more. I stood there in awe and let the machine fetch the load that uttered out of the air. Non-complier! Just like my hero, Donald Sutherland did at the end of the Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Redux. Invasion of the Masks. A Coronaville love story. Colored. Circa 2020. All right, I tried something different there. I faded out the music. You know, I faded out the music instead of just cutting it off. So see if I can manage to do that on the second one, if I remember to or not. All right, turn the light off before you leave the room. There you go. Turn the light off. I can move on to the next room now. Next room. There you go. Yeah, this is the opposite of where I want you. This is the very opposite of what I want. I specifically ask for the opposite of this. I picture that snake that's getting stepped on. And he's like, hey, here we go. That's good. I really, yeah, you don't need to see my face as much. You really need to see more that the shirt really, in a way, this is kind of the t-shirt show. The show is inspired in part by the very t-shirt, so it's more the star of the show than I am, certainly. I hope so. I hope I've done my part to shatter the myth. Let's get ready for the Wednesday poem. Make sure we get this lined up. Which one is this? Yeah, it's the Napoleonic way. Yeah, I know. I told this story on the Wednesday show. I told this story, but I want to repeat it here on this on the iChap here, and that is the story of how I ended up choosing this story, because this is not a story that I would usually choose. So that's a story in and of itself. The story was, I guess somehow it had inadvertently been put in the wrong category, and I had in the course of how I sort things out and prepare things, at the very end I discovered the last thing I was writing for the day was the news poem. And when I brought it up, this is what was there, and I was like, wait a second, this is wrong. I wouldn't have picked this. What the heck? So I thought, and this has happened before, although, well, now it hasn't happened quite like that. What's happened before is I've gotten to, whether it's a dialectical or a news poem, those are the ones I really struggle with picking which story I'm going to choose. And if I get to sometimes I get to the story, and in the end, I'm like, you know what? I don't want to do it on this. I got to go find something else. And I will go out and find something else. And I'll switch things around and do whatever. I switch stuff around just whatever until the very end, until the final script is delivered, as it were, to the site, which is usually somewhere around 10 p.m., somewhere around there. The day before the show, you'll get the script for the show the next day. Yeah, I do that. I know. And anyway, this time I decided to make myself a challenge. It's something that I had done in the past, and not just me, many poets. What you do is you take some subjects. Usually you take something that you would consider what we would call prosaic, something in the ordinary, mundane, daily life, and you try to create poetry from it. And I chose, at one point, I used ingredients in the backs of different food things that I had. And I love those poems. I think I only have a couple of them that survived all of the migrations through my life. But this, I decided I was going to do that. So that's why I ended up writing a poem about a topic such as this, which is basically William Barr confirms Russia probe began with basis to undermine Trump presidency. That's actually not even a story that I would, if I do cover it, it would end up being maybe in one of the briefs. It wouldn't be one that I would necessarily want to spend a lot of time talking about, because everybody, not that I won't talk about major stories that everybody else is talking about in high level sometimes. I certainly will sometimes. But in this instance, this wasn't a story that I really found much I really wanted to think about. It's just everybody's killers. Okay, great. I don't really care to look at this story too much. But I decided, and this is the result. The result is the Wednesday poem, which we're about ready to record here, which, yeah, I think I found something in it after all. Well, at least I think I did. In my mind. Here we go. Let's record this. The Napoleonic Way versus spilled wine on fine carpets. I live in a room all by myself, surrounded by spies, and I like it. I walk through the room and I flaunt my future persecution. It is good. So good. So great, really, when you flaunt your future persecution. Think about it. A spot of dark wine, red, blue, whatever. A spot of wine breaks the clean perfection of my lovely mauve rug. Mauve. Of course my rug is mauve. The accident is a violation of the perfection, and I must conceal the death. Dragging the center of weight in a convenient statue, hip high, lead heavy. Some conquistador raising his sword in victory from a rising horse. In that way. The way. The Napoleonic way. My way. So the heroes, hiding the flaw was particularly poetic, at least to me, such as poetry might be to those who bother with such queer affairs. I died just the moment I discovered I was the undisputed victim of the whole affair. My dust settled off of me in magical conformity to my fates. Delivered from the pickle juice dripping from my throat, and the inappropriate guffaws at pictures of goats in skirts, I was now the maverick victim on the other side of the crash. The idiot with a shiny spoon that every once in a while made a sweet noise when I banged it on my own head. Victim. The one who was spied is spied, not spying, not the salacious spider pulling the universe into its sticky center, but the victim and authentically so, undisputed. The victim king, the man who made the most of a bad situation and ended up with lead-heavy statues of conquistadors, concealing, securing the spills of dark wines that pale in comparison to being spied on by your own government while you're running for president. Good show, and so it goes. What a miracle, a load of life. The king undone and done again. We've seen it again, and again and again. The lead-heavy Dumpty that fell and did not shatter just got up and humped again. Hurrah, hurrah, guffaw! I bite my knuckles hard when I imagine the circumstances of such a king on such a throne in such a land as now, the Coronaville hour, where kings perform x-rays on themselves in public without realizing how much they expose, even when they think they are lying. After all, the best liars are the ones who don't know they're lying. So push on. The show rolls. Long live the king and the many who will follow, with the same songs, but with different notes, and the same chorus of liars who don't know they're lying. We, the American people, roll on. Well, that kind of worked with the music there. That timing there at the end, as I got to the end, it was just about over, so I just ended it, and then I had that last part that was without the music, which was, I love it when a plan comes together. That's my Hannibal. What's Hannibal Burr? What was his last name on the A team? Hannibal. I love it when a plan comes together. I was smoking a stogie. The FaceTime, remember Face? No, he was just called FaceTime. He wasn't called FaceTime. That's an app now. That's a thing that people use to be real with one another. But Face, that was his name, Face, because he was a man of 1,000 faces, and he was also two-faced and more-faced. He was the master of all. He was. Murdoch was my guy, though. Murdoch was a crazy loon. That's my guy. I was Murdoch. I identify with Murdoch. Of all the characters, Murdoch. Not even close. Totally on board. I was Murdoch. Murdoch is me. I am Murdoch. Let's get ready for the next Poetalanma. And the next, look at that. It's at Autumn Leaves. Might not be what you think it's about, though. But maybe it is. Right, we got our stuff from Freeqo.com. See that? That's where you need to go. If you're not on Freeqo.com, Freeqo.com/daily to register. Get on this, dudes, and become part of become part of the Freaks, man. Join the Freak Show. That's what we are, man. We're the Freak Show. FREEQ, Freak Show. Come join the Freak Show at Freeqo.com. I think that's a good thing. That's a pretty good thing. We're going to get ready to record now the Thursday poem. Get ready, ladies and gentlemen. The autumn leaves snap with the new Intelligencia Digitalis. Autumnal. The brisk spine snaps into the coil. I remember the story of the nun who fell down a well. A well. I question the science of the description. A well indeed. Snapped into. A child breaks a branch and beats a dog with it. Snaps! Snapped into it. The sea shanty goes. According to the science, we can develop a dial and fill it with go. Go! Deploy the parameters. The spine snaps. The brisk spins. The painted coils of light and the machine's learning scaffoldings. Scaffoldings across the broken plain were the detritus of the last generation. The crashed generation of machine goes. Open to the land's eyes and hands, should one seek a part or a sculpted accidental. I spin no more. The death of the me is not the machine that ate the sound, but that distant login screen. I will not log in, I say, but yet I already have. Zeros out of the automaking, making machine. I will not log in. I log in. I double check to ensure that I am not logged out. I select stay logged in indefinitely. I step into my head, which is also mine, which is also alone, of one, of an accord, of nearly certainly one. The sentience is left in the scaffoldings that now fall away like ice crystals, floating towards a forest on fire. A last blast of thought, a false display of patches of gold and tangles of dark wire, overcoming the last verdigris from the high sun's time. But in the winter, the puppet and the puppet are one. All right, I did a little fade out again. I like that. There we go. There we go. But we don't want to leave the light on before we leave the room. Turn the light off. We get ready to go to... chapter 4. Huh. You know what? I'd rather be the other way around. Let's fix you. Let's fix you. Let's go like that. You know what? I like being messed up. There we go. Let's just do that. That's cool. This is the poetry show. We can... I don't like always being... Let's mess some things up. I still like composition, so I think compositionally this still kind of works for me. So I got that flowage going on here. Yeah, we can go with that. We can live with that. We can definitely live with that. I mean, we're not going to be here long anyway. This is just a little holdover while we get ready for the next place, the last poem. We're about ready to do the last poem, ladies and gentlemen. So brace yourselves. We're getting near the end of the show. It's not really a long show. It's just a Saturday show. I will eventually be doing a Sunday show once I figure out what I'm going to do. I might even have the Sunday show be an interview show where I have somebody on to talk to about some of the news stories in the previous week. Might do something like that. But it's got to be like this show. All I got to do is, it's just the content I already created, so it's easy enough. And I get to have more fun with my poems in ways that I can't really take. My show's already long enough. I don't need to take as much time as I do in these poems when I read them in the way that I do here. So that's why I do this show. But I want to have a show going out, live streaming every day, 12:30 p.m. That's my goal. That's what I'm going to get up to. And I'm close to getting to it. I'm close. Until then, Monday through Saturday you get a show. Monday through Friday is Freeqo Talks and News. And on Saturday is Freeqo's iChap. And I don't know what Sunday show will be called yet. We'll find out. Let's get ready to record the Friday poem, though. This is the last poem, so brace yourselves. I know, it's sad. It's sad. It goes by quite fast, but here we are. We're already at the last poem. Slaughter them to keep them alive. A Coronaville zoo story. Aren't they cute? Love lions, they're adorable. Sophie's Choice, in a manner of speaking. Well, I almost read the news part. I'm not reading the news part. I'm just going to do this part. You know what? I'm going to stop this. This is a false alarm. I'm not doing this. I forgot. I started to go into like I was doing the news poem instead of doing the poem. So I stopped that recording. That will not be up on the YouTubes. Although you'll see it in this live stream. We'll preserve that for posterity. Of course, it's historical documentation there. You don't want to leave that on the cutting floor, because that's gold right there. So let's do it right, though. Let's actually do the poem and not the news poem. Let's do that. Slaughter them to keep them alive. A Coronaville zoo story. Drugs dripping from the headlines, the big T's, the numbers that tell narratives, not truths. Meanwhile, tucked out of the way of the locked down in Coronavilles, are cages with hungry beasts unmet by curious, touristy eyes. The drugs tell us we are fine. Then they don't, depending on the station you're on, or the faction the talker belongs to. Talker. Same story. The drugs drip from the headlines. Rescues that fade into the back scene of Russian conspiracies and Chinese horrors. We are all mixed in our own memes, where Harambe effing chat gave his life for the scene, for the display, and we cheered. Coronaville snickered in bemused sanguinity, aware of what was to come. Lions eating the lowliest kind of the zoo. To potentially hope, if enough beasts live, the touristy eyes will return, that life will return to normal, they say. You can never go back to the zoos. The lion will lay down with the goat and eat them. And the zookeeper will weep for each and every goat. Amen. The song goes on. Throw another goat on the rocky bank of the lion's den. Boop, 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 boop. Boop, 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 boop. Yes, I stopped the recording, so the news poem is over. You know what that means? It means this show. Oops, you know what I did? I can't do that. I can't leave the light on in the room. Don't leave the lights on when you leave the room. It's all right. This is better. We're a little bit better here. You know what? I don't know. Can I get... No. Can I say something? Can I say something? There we go. Let's put you here. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, there we go. There we go. So we can see the good meme. Good meme. I got to remember next week I will have the link available in the show notes when I put it up to this shirt. So you can all have your own Freeqo. Well, it is for me official. It's not for the designer. The designer didn't design this to be the official Freeqo's iChap's t-shirt, but it is. And I get no money from the proceeds, so I'd just be making the designer money anyway, and that's okay. I don't really care. With that, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you all for joining me on this week's Freeqo's iChaps. I'll see you next Saturday at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on dlive.tv/Freeqo. You can also catch us on facebook.com/Freeqo Talk, and on the YouTubes, you can look up Actiun Batza, A-C-T-I-U-N-E, Batza, B-A-Z-A, which means action-based, base of action. This is Italian, Latin to speak. It's actually Latin, and it is basically the name of the philosophy that underlines the whole show. So it's fitting that I'm on the Action Batza YouTube channel with the show. Yeah. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you guys again on Freeqo Talks the News, starting, that'll be this Monday, 12:30 p.m. I'll have 14 stories that will be woven together in a way to sing the song of the day through news on the Freeqo Talks the News, where I vow I have gone now 9 days without freaking out, ladies and gentlemen. 9 days. So Monday I'll be going for day 10, so you want to stay tuned to that. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you later.
But I never really knew that it was so